Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome into this early morning edition, but it's always an early morning if you're casting from the East Coast like I am, here for the Phase 2 of the G-1 League Asia Qualifiers. We've got an international affair on the way today. LGD International taking on Neo.int International. LGD International, a team which hardly needs an introduction, really. They roll into competition today as one of the most popular teams on the planet, and for good reason. The talented group was cobbled together from 5 of the most talented players on the planet, all from different nations. From there, they set the world on fire with an outstanding showing in the recently concluded G League, where they finished in 2nd place, losing to reigning international champions Invictus Gaming. Since that series, though, they've only managed to win 50% of their matches, losing twice to the talented Neo.int Orange squad, but netting wins against MUFC. They roll into play today. The hands-down favorite, I mean, make no mistake about it, but their armor looks anything but impervious after their questionable play in the GEST finals against Orange. Still yet, one of the most talented teams you're likely to see. Neo.int, the other side of the international coin this morning, is the majority Singaporean squad, and they've got an American captain, Michael Ninja Boogie Ross, and really just his presence on the team has made this team a rising star of sorts and in the United States. So a lot of U.S. viewers really getting on board with this squad, and they've got a decent track record to really support that. They've won the majority of their last 7 series in March, bringing home 4 victories out of those 7. 3 losses, though, have been at the hands of established teams Zenith, MUFC, and Orange. So they'll be looking to get past that top team jinx here today, and they'll have their work cut out for them as LGD International is arguably more talented than any team they've played since their formation. So, enough about the introductions. How about we take a look at what's going on in the draft? Bad Rider and Nyx Assassin banned out by Neo.int. No surprise, probably the 2 most commonly banned heroes. And Keeper of the Light, as well as Lifestealer, taken out by LGD International. Now, Lifestealer has been seeing a lot of play for quite some time. Over the last, 30, 45, 60 days, the hero has really seen his popularity wax in a big way in almost all scenes, all the way from Asia into North America and Europe. And another hero that has really become more popular as time has gone on is Lone Druid. Lone Druid has always been a very situational pick, a hero that for the most part has his place on a lot of teams in terms of just their favorite heroes, but the teams that didn't used to like the hero just never picked him, never worried about him, and you rarely saw him banned against a team that usually didn't like to run him. But of late, I mean, the strength of the hero has just really begun to show itself. And we're going to see Neo.int go ahead and pick him up to go with the first pick, Queen of Pain. Now, we'll come back to that Queen of Pain in a moment, but already we can see LGD Gaming is as solid as it gets, and I'm talking rock solid. When you have a Magnus who can run in the off lane, he can run solo safe lane, he can run mid, as well as a Shadow Demon and Leshrac. Shadow Demon and Leshrac, I think that combination right now is one of the most potent support lineups in just about any situation. You can run them offensively, you can run them defensively, and they're going to be equally effective. I really like them on the Radiant side, running as a defensive tri lane more than an offensive, and I'll tell you why. They are so good at moving across the map in the very early levels, you know, that 4 or 5 minute window when usually you want to try to apply some pressure to mid, especially with Magnus, a hero who can do a lot in mid if he has a little bit of help. Other than that, he's usually going to be relying on just bottle crowing and using Shockwave to find his last hits and to really do a good job. But when you have a Magnus and a Shadow Demon and Leshrac who smoke up out of the Radiant side jungle and move towards mid past the Roche pit, that is just so hard to deal with. Queen of Pain, of course, with her built-in escape, shouldn't be extremely scared of that, but it's just something to always keep in mind. So, back to Neo.int, they've got Lone Druid and Sand King. Right now, we can already see they're very much on board with the magic damage sort of a build. Queen of Pain with Sonic Wave, Scream of Pain, and Sand King, of course, with Epicenter. That's so much to deal with in the mid-game. And what I like a lot about that is it gives Neo.int the chance to take a multitude of approaches to how they want to scale into the mid-game and on through to the late game. They can just go ahead and fall back on Sand King plus Queen of Pain plus whoever they want to round this lineup up with, just to be heroes that can apply pressure, that can take control of the map and free the map up for the Lone Druid to farm himself towards a big inventory in the late stages of the mid-game and on into the late game. Or, alternatively, depending on who they pick up, Lone Druid could just go with a straight pushing build, put together a Maelstrom very quickly, and you're going to have the potent AoE damage coming out of Queen of Pain and Sand King that's going to let you start to fight and dive under enemy towers quite confidently, especially if you have a fairly well-leveled and well-farmed Lone Druid using his bear plus Demolish to apply big-time pressure to towers, and that's really another strength of the hero. is the fact that you can go for early wins with the Lone Druid, because cracking the tier 3 is just so much easier to do when you have a hero like a Lone Druid on your squad. So the band's complete. We can see Weaver, Lycan, and Jugger banned out by Neo.int. That's obviously going to be, I mean, when you look at those 3 heroes, what you usually are going to think is just push. They do not want any part of LGD Gaming's push-oriented lineup. In the meantime, LGD takes out Rubik, Darkseer, and Wisp, so not looking to give away any of those high-tier supports. Darkseer making his way into the second ban phase. And that's kind of something I'm having to adjust to, casting Asian Dota again. Darkseer in North America and Europe is almost never does he survive the first pick phase if he isn't banned. Instead, banned out here. Now, Gyrocopter, the pickup from LGD, that's going to give them, again, a multitude of options. They could defensive or offensively tri-lane, but it's becoming more and more rare to see teams offensively tri-lane out of the Radiant side, just because of how strong mid-pulling actually is and how much that'll really help Magnus out. Prophet's going to be the last pickup from LGD Gaming, and they've got about as well-rounded a lineup as I think you could ask for. They've got teamfight potential with Magnus and Gyrocopter. The reverse polarity into the call down is so difficult to deal with, especially if you're able to follow it up with a good split earth, even a sprout, just to hold them all in place. Can be extremely strong during the middle stages of the game. And they've also got some late game viability. Gyrocopter has really become one of the most popular heroes in all of Dota, just because he brings something to the table in almost every stage of the game. No matter what you need out of him, he can usually deliver. He's going to give you a lot of single target DPS in the early to late early game stages, just because of Rocket Barrage, which does 690 damage, 690 magical damage if you're able to get Gyro isolated against a single target. So that's something you have to watch out for. Then, of course, the call down, which is potent from level 6 all the way through the game, and on into the late game phases where Flat Cannon just becomes a monstrous liability and something very difficult to deal with. Back to Neo.int. They went ahead and rounded things out with Lina and Puck. Think they like magic damage? You think maybe they like having some mid-game magic damage? And that's basically what they're going to be all in on, and that's dangerous for one reason and one reason only. It can be completely nullified. I mean, that lineup can almost be knocked completely off of its feet if LGD is able to get up a quick pipe. I mean, they're going to have some initiation potential and counter-initiation potential coming out of both Puck and Sand King. Very difficult to engage into them. Puck, of course, because of his silence, and Sand King, just because Burrow Strike, once it is max level, the range on it is quite nice. The AoE on it is actually deceptively large, even at the early stages. So you know, he's just a hard hero to engage into, especially early on when he can rely on Sandstorm to get him out of trouble if he kind of has to go all in on a counter initiation. But LGD, again, BKBs and Pipe going to be the absolute name of the game. And I would be surprised to see Brax not go ahead and get a very early BKB just because of what Neo.int has drafted for themselves. Lone Druid, a very potent late game carry. But just looking at the draft, I feel like LGD has a chance to really take control of the early game. And this is the other thing that's really worrisome if you're in the shoes of Neo.int, and we do have a disconnect, so we'll hold on that. But what's really worrisome about a lineup like this is they are all extremely level dependent. Queen of Pain in particular is going to have to do a great job in mid. Looks like we have a crash, and hopefully we'll have everybody back in due course. But the entire team of Neo.int, really, Lone Druid included, but to a lesser extent, he's a bit more item-based, a bit more just making sure that he stays safe, doesn't end up getting ganked, as he is very easily killed if a lot of attention is given to him in the early game. But if they fall behind in levels at all, they are just not going to have the firepower to catch up. Whereas LGD, with the farming potential of the Prophet and of the Gyrocopter, I mean, those two heroes can just put together a big stack of gold, and they can do it in a hurry. And, you know, it's a much more comfortable lineup to turtle out with if they fall behind. Neo.int, though, again, and Sankin, this is kind of the tale of a lot of heroes that Neo.int has picked here. Puck is good pretty much all game just because of the strength of Coil, especially when you talk about the way it synergizes with Epicenter out of Sand King, Burrow Strike, of course, and, of course, the massive AoE, magic damage, that a Queen of Pain is going to be able to pour on. But, again, BKBs really just confound things, especially on that Gyrocopter. Lina's #1 job, for the most part in these fights, is going to be to isolate that Gyrocopter, especially early on when his HP pool is still relatively low and his damage output, just in terms of pure right-clicks, is not going to be nearly as high as his magic damage. She's going to want to isolate him, blow that Laguna Blade, and just hope that that plus the magic damage follow-up, the AoE, out of the Sand King and the Queen of Pain, is enough to drop him and drop him quickly. But again, an early pipe brought out on the Prophet and an early BKB brought out on the gyrocopter is really going to be problematic for this squad. So, looks like it's going to take a minute or two. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. If you're like me on the East Coast, it is just past 3 a.m. And you know what? Pretty good time for Dota, if you ask me. I would appreciate it, by the way, guys, if you would let me know either via Twitter or the chat whenever I am back and ready to chat in the back and ready to chat between games, how I sound. And the reason I ask that is just put together a brand new audio setup. I've been tweaking and tuning it over the last 24 hours. I mean, hell, with my internet out, it's not like I had a lot to do yesterday anyway, right? But would really very much appreciate it if you guys would just get back at me, let me know how it sounds. And that goes for in-game as well. Speaking of in-game, this gives me a perfect opportunity to talk about this. If you haven't picked up your G1 League Season 5 ticket yet, all of the games, all of the backdated games that were not a part of the ticket but were played before the ticket went into the shop have been added to the ticket. So not only do you get all of the great Dota action coming up here in G1, but you're going to get all of the G1 action you might have missed before. So very low price, very economically priced, and well worth the price of admission. I'll be here casting along with, of course, Beyond the Summit, my good buddies, Lumi and LD and Gods and Company, not to mention our Russian buddies. If you happen to have just found your way here, you're wondering where the Russian stream is, that's brought to you by Vlad. Much love to Vlad and his casting crew as well. I'm going to be solo casting, at least for now. Had a couple of people show some interest in casting with me this morning, but one of them, cough load of cough, did not get his butt out of bed. So hopefully he'll be rolling out of bed and ready to roll sometime in the very near future. In the meantime, I guess I can go ahead and take this opportunity to remind you that the D2L playoffs are going to be coming up very soon, so make sure you keep that in mind. Our 4 teams in the D2L, and hopefully G1 won't mind me talking about this just because we are in the middle of a pause here. But our 4 playoff teams are going to be Fnatic, Team Liquid, Empire, and Dignitas. And details going to be released on that very, very soon. And so far as details go, I can't give you a whole lot, but people have been asking a lot exactly what my plans were for the future. If I was going to go to Sweden and join Draskell at the GD studio. Maybe there was some speculation that maybe I'd wind up at Beyond the Summit along with LD and company. Well, I can tell you this. As of last night, I do have some plans to move sometime in the near future. Not going to tell you where, not going to tell you when, but I will be looking to relocate sometime soon. Oh no, we lost Lumi, so hopefully our Lena will be joining us again very, very soon. See, what else can I talk about while we have a moment? Let's see, we covered D2L. We already did the intro. And I could say this, I'm very excited to be casting LGD International. It's the first time I've casted LG International as a squad, but I was talking with some of the viewership earlier, and I've actually casted everyone on LGD International many, many times when they were all on different teams. So know all the guys, met a lot of them, 1437 being a good example, PyCat, etc. Met all those guys at the International, so I'm not biased, not a based caster, but I do like those guys a lot. And a lot of fun for me just thinking about how far everyone has come over the last year, going back to my monthly Madness days when I got to know all of those guys. And now they're in China, and I have the privilege of working with the prestigious tournament, G1 League. So thanks to you guys, all of that. And that speaks for them and for me as well. It's all thanks to your support, all thanks to your believing in us, and hopefully we're going to continue to bring you a quality product in the future. Well, the game remains paused, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to, just because I'm by myself and I don't want to just keep rambling for no particularly good reason, I'm actually going to pop out and look at the chat. But, and yeah, if you have any questions, I'm here. We'll make this like a rain delay in baseball. Whenever you have a rain delay in baseball, you have a call-in show. So I'm now looking at the chat. I'm on a 2-minute delay, of course. But if you guys want to ask me anything, I'll be here at least for the moment. So, okay, good. Looks like so far the oh, hang on, we are underway. Never mind, you don't get to ask me anything because we got Dota to cast. All right, so looks like everyone's made it back, and hopefully that'll be the last of our problems. Poor little bear has wondered himself. Oh, he's trapped. No, he did make it out. No, the treants are there. They've got him blocked. They won't let him out. Oh, the poor bear. Call PETA. It's abuse! It's abuse! Oh, the humanity! Poor lone druid. Gonna lose his best buddy, 100 gold in the pocket of a very grateful LGD international team. But looks like we're not going to have any more blood on the soil, so how about we take a look at who's playing who. Gonna have 1437 handling our Shadow Demon on the side of LGD. Misery will be playing our Leshrac. We're gonna have G playing on our Magnus, and of course Brax handling the Gyrocopter, looking to get him farmed up, and Pycat will be playing his decked out Nature's Prophet on the other side of the river. The challengers, the underdogs, led by this man right here, Ninja Boogie. Healing from the United States, going to be handling our Lone Druid. He's setting up shop in the solo safe lane. Harchiko going to be playing our Lena. We're going to have Blah playing our Queen of Pain. Sand King going to be handled by Lei, and Puck will be played by, I don't know. Apparently he doesn't know either. He's just Mr. Question Marks. We'll call him QQ. But 26 minutes in, and let's see. I mean, I knew that they had the potential for this. I talked about it during the draft. But again, this is just something that surprises me a little bit given the situation, given that they do have the Radiant side advantage. And I don't think it's any exaggeration whatsoever to say that the Radiant side does have a bit of an advantage now. Most professional teams, when speaking candidly, will tell you they vastly prefer to play on the Radiant side, and many will tell you they feel really pressured to run an offensive tri-lane against the Radiant side when they're on the Dire. But LGD instead opting to go with the offensive tri-lane. And unless they switch something up, this poor Druid's going to have a tough life. There's so much kill potential here. The only thing that might be worse would have been maybe a Rubik. But with the disruption, setting up perfect, absolutely perfect splitters every single time, you'll be able to follow that up with Rocket Barrage. They have to be very careful. Sand King, of course, not going to be quite as scared just because he has Burrow Strike as well as Sandstorm to try and keep him safe. But this is, again, the kind of thing they really can't afford to have happen. They are just having their pull camp completely nullified. Lena can't do much of anything. She's a prime target, not the fastest mover in history, and if she gets isolated out, she will be in trouble. And in the meantime, Pycat going to be having quite an easy time here against Puck. Now, he is taking some abuse, but he should have no problem whatsoever. And he's going to be even more of a problem once he decides to start bouncing around. That's what's going to be real scary if you're in Neo.int's shoes right now, is that Prophet can show up and be a +1 to absolutely any engagement you want to try to take. For now, Ninja Boogie can rely on his bear just to give a little bit of harassment, try to get some last hits for him. But even then, I mean, it's a lot more challenging than it seems. Pycat, quite happy to be on his way to level 4. And again, this pull camp is just utterly shut down. Almost no advantage here out of the safe lane. They're going to go, oh, good split earth. Catches the creeps, disrupts the pull. So no luck for you, Ninja Boogie. Back here in mid. Oh, the Zonky. He's got the Zonky courier. Love the Zonky. But back here in mid, Magnus setting up shop against Queen of Pain. He's actually doing quite well for himself. He's got 11 last hits to the 13 of the Quap. That's a bit too much, really, all things considered. And he does have... Oh, hang on. We might have our first blood, and we will. Down he goes. Went into the Sandstorm, but with the Sentry Ward there, never really had a chance. And there's that kill potential I was talking about. You just have zero room for error against this kind of a tri-lane. And yeah, he is going to be maxing his Rocket Barrage, at least for the moment, which makes a ton of sense. I mean, basically, if they get one more kill at this point, which is going to be very, I won't say easy, but very possible, then this is going to be a lane that Neo.int has to abandon. They just can't allow a Druid to stay in this situation with both supports getting so little experience. Not to mention a Nature's Prophet who's doing a great job, and they're just going to dive this completely. Good dodge of the Light Striker Ray. Now the follow-up Soul Catcher's there. Here comes Sand King, day late and $1 short. And Gyrocopter gets that kill. Here comes the Burrow Strike. He may have just killed himself, though. Rocket Barrage, again, doing so much damage. They don't have any vision. In the meantime, Ninja Boogie pursued under his own tower. Sand King has next to no health, hiding out in the woods, trying to keep them both on the camera. He eats his way through. There's a Sprout, though, as Pycat joins the fight. Ninja Boogie running the wrong direction. Shadow Demon gets a kill on the other side of the tower. And all of a sudden, it is 4-0, favoring LGD International. An absolute catastrophe of a top lane. And LGD's decision to offensively tri-lane this, working out fantastically. And even more surprising, again, is just how well Magnus is doing here in mid. He's bottle crowing, has had next to no damage. Blah will pick himself up a double damage room. So at the very, very least, he should be able to try and harass the big Magnosaurus out, force him back, and think twice about playing so aggressive. But for now, taking a look at the last hits, Queen of Pain is on top and right behind. The top three are all belonging to LGD. And this is a big problem too. Usually, if you're going to defensively tri-lane and try to stick with it, which they are, they're actually not abandoning this, which is kind of surprising. At this point, I'd almost send the Druid into the jungle and just send the supports elsewhere. They have a lot of gank potential as well. I didn't really talk about it just because of how lethal LGD's lineup happens to be in that regard at this stage of the game. But Alina plus a Sand King can do some freaking damage, man. That is hard to deal with. And speaking of doing damage, Soul Catcher beautifully timed Split Earth. Peace out. Ninja Boogie goes back to the well the hard way. And yeah, at this point, yeah, they're going to smoke up. This is what they need to be doing. Really no reason to hang on to that tri-lane anymore. That ship has sailed. And now they're going to try and punish Magnus, who has been playing pretty aggressive. He's been spending a lot of time waiting in the river, a lot of time on the enemy side. And here we go. He's down pretty low. There's the Shadow Strike. And just a little bit of lapse in communication there, I think. They did not time that out very well. Queen of Pain probably should have held on to that Scream of Pain before, or at least until the rest of his team got into position. As is, though, Tier 1 First Blood will go the way of LGD International as well. They're going to go ahead and add that to their collective bank accounts. And the Druid, yeah, should be just hanging out in the jungle. I mean, really, what else can he do at this point? There's nowhere safe on the map for him right now, especially with the Prophet around. Speaking of the Prophet, Pycat already to level 6 at 6 minutes, so he has done a great job. Taking a look at Puck, he's held his own. He's got 20 last hits. He's level 6 as well. And what Neolution is going to have to really get a lot out of it. It comes down to what I talked about during the draft. And I talked about they had the potential to go this direction, and they ended up doing so with their final picks, is they've got a team that can do a lot of damage as a squad of 4 moving together. And that they need to use that to free up the map for Ninja Boogie, to allow him to farm up. He's so far behind right now, only 11 last hits. He's behind the Puck even. But this is the right call here. Prophet does not really have an escape that can be relied upon. I mean, if you have any amount of stun or silence, which there's plenty of, he's not going to be able to TP away. And hopefully, they'll be able to get themselves on the board here, trying to get this game back on track. They actually pull back. And that's got to be just purely in fear of the TP reaction potential out of LGD and Ninja Boogie. Sorry, brother. See you back at the well. In the meantime, here's a TP reaction, and Puck lands right into a Split Earth. LGD playing some pretty good Dota. Playing all right. 7-0 right now at 7 minutes. Taking a look at the gold. 5,000 gold, their advantage. 4,000 experience. 7 minutes into this game. 7 minutes into this game. 420 seconds. And they're that far ahead. And this kind of comes down to what I talked about during the draft as well. Neolution's lineup has a lot of things going for it. But falling behind in levels to this degree, losing the laning phase this badly, this is not something they're going to easily... Oh my goodness. Lina is level 1. Lina is level 1 and 8 minutes into this game. Poor girl only has Light Strike Array. But anyway, I think that proves the point. Only level 4 on the Sand King right now. Magnus is already at level 7. He's more than halfway to his Blink Dagger now. Or he can just, yeah, it looks like he's just going to grab Arc Boots, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Regeneration. But, I mean, just look at the map. Look at the warding out of LGD. Look at how much space they control here. And this is just what I was talking about. Like, what Neolution is going to have the hardest time engaging out now because they're magic-dealing heroes, which are normally extremely strong and potent during this phase of the game, the middle phase of the early game. This is when they should be relied upon to be able to hold LGD at bay. But because they're behind in levels to this degree, it's not even about items. They just really can't engage. They don't have the damage whatsoever. And 1437 is fearless right here. There's just no reason for them to stop. They honestly could just about push to Tier 3 right now if they want to. 2 from Neo, hanging out just near the Roche pit. They want to try and pull an encircling maneuver. And we'll see if they're going to be able to make this work. No epicenter for him yet. There's a good skewer. They do manage to get the Lina again, and now here comes Queen of Pain. But Sand King and Queen of Pain were dead before they got there. There's going to be a Sprout on Ninja Boogie as well. In the meantime, the Courier being pinged out. Heard a coil go down. Brax is just going to go ahead and blow his call down. Will be finished up with a Sonic Wave. So they do manage to punish LGD fairly well that time. LGD not executing the tightest game of Dota I've ever seen in history. But 9-3, they continue to maintain the lead. Blah back and ready to fight. And that tier 2 still standing, though. So they've got that going for them. 7,500 gold, however, is currently the advantage. The experience has dipped down a bit. And that's a good way for Neo.int to begin to turn this game around. It's a shame Sand King wasn't quite level 6 at that time. He's level 6 now. But if he had had Epicenter, he would have been in much, much better shape to get some more damage done. In the meantime, Pycat has got the mechs up. And we'll see if and when they're going to put together a pipe. I would imagine it'll be soon. Pycat's added a Yasha to his inventory, so we'll see how he wants to play that out. If he's going to go Yasha BKB or straight up Manta in the BKB. In the meantime, they're going to try and hold this tower, but Mech's going to make that hard burrow strike, going to catch Misery. Now the epicenter. Oh, no, there it is. Misery will be cleaned up. Lena doing work despite still being just level 3, landing a very clutch Light Strike array. And to be honest, LGD has gotten a little sloppy in the last minute or two. They're engaging in situations where they don't really have vision, and Sand King right there able to add another kill to their total. They should still be able to get this tower fairly easily, as really Neo.int's not in the best of shape to engage into LGD in these numbers. And the tower will drop, so more gold going their way. In the meantime, Ninja Boogie trying to make up some difference. He is still way behind, though. He's sitting at half the farm of the top farmer on the board. Good news is that top farmer does belong to Neo.int in the form of Queen of Pain. Mech used, and they're going to go ahead and set their sights here on the tier 2 bottom. Now, Puck's initiation at this point is going to be clutch. If really that's their big hope, is if they have good initiation on a Puck, they can land a good coil and then reliably pour out their magic damage, which, again, they are under-leveled. And that's going to be difficult to overcome, but not impossible, especially now that Epicenter's up. It's going to be quite some time before Epi's ready to go. And it looks like they are just going to go ahead and let this go. And Leshrac, in the meantime, gets himself a solo kill on Lena. Not sure how he managed that, but get a little payback. Queen of Pain wants to make him pay. Here comes Nature's Prophet. Going to go ahead and sprout in Blah. 3 seconds, and there's the RP just in time to prevent the blink. They will be able to clean him up. Very well put together engagement there, chaining the abilities just right. Keeping an eye, or at least having knowledge of the cooldowns. Now, Ninja Boogie gonna go ahead and try to morph. There's a skewer under his own tower, cleaned up. Coil goes down, that catches G. Godforce back burrow strike has him in trouble. There's the silence, but the disruption saved Magnus. That would have killed him. One Sonic Wave will go off, but at the end of the day, 2 are down, and they both belong to Neo.int. Double damage rune spotted out. We see a ping down, and it looks like they want to try and take a tower. We're still so early in this game that the respawn timers are a major hurdle to LGD being able to take as much map control as they arguably could or should. But so far, doing an all-right job. Here's another burrow strike that's going to catch one. Epicenter's up in 2 seconds, but he will not have the mana. Has no way to replenish that mana. No bottle, no arc boots. LGD going to go ahead and pursue him out. Here we go. They're going to... Oh, good drop there with the Waning Rift. God's in trouble. In the meantime, Sonic Wave able to clean one up. Misery whiffs with the Split Earth. Ninja Boogie now the target. Cooldown's going to whiff as well. Brack's trying to find his way into the fight. Coming into the backside. Here's the flag cannon damage. They will melt down Misery, but the Rocket Barrage helping to clean house. There's the Burrow Strike on Pycat. However, just not enough health for them to be able to hang and bang. Sand King will drop Ninja Boogie. Not going to be able to engage, hoping for a root, unable to get one. In the meantime, Blah does blink up. And Ninja Boogie there to help chase him away. Misery uses Edict, and Pycat, fresh back from the well, able to add one more kill to their total. 15-7, 22 kills, and a 13.5-minute game. LGD rolling like they own the place. And they're just about in that territory, that magical territory, where they're almost gaining 1,000 gold advantage per minute. And about to get a little bit worse. That medallion, freshly completed on the Shadow Demon. Love that pickup, by the way. Absolutely love that pickup. If you want to take a Roshan faster and you want to have the ability to nuke down a Lone Druid, this is a good way to do it. Brack's still sitting on just his Yasha, unless he's got something on the way to him. And he does. So, yep, there we go. He's going to go ahead, pick up his ultimate orb, so he will be going straight up for the Manta style. And don't mind that, given how far ahead they are. If it were a closer game, I think picking up a BKB would be the right call. Magnus actually has enough for his Blink Dagger. Yeah, he just picked it up. So his mobility going to be through the roof. And Misery. And I love this. I don't think we see enough of this in North American, European Dota. The drums pick up on Lesh. Not to say it's like ultra rare or bizarre or anything. But I just love this pickup on this hero. One of the most stat-efficient items in the game on a hero that really needs to have both health and mana to be effective. And let's be honest, in professional games, the idea of getting a Bloodstone on a Leshrac usually not going to be reality unless he just has an unbelievably good start. But by going with treads and drums, not only is his mobility there, and not only is he helping his team out, but the hero itself, for a relatively cheap cost, is made so much better. And gets everything he needs that he would get from a Bloodstone, just in a lesser degree, but in a much more attainable fashion. A way that, you know, something that you can get up, even if you're not having as good a game as LGD is. You'll be able to get that item up relatively quickly. And, of course, the fact that the pieces of it build really nicely on an early game Leshrac, a Bracer, plus a Mantle. Then again, just dropping knowledge while LGD, knowledge such as it is for me, but as LGD just continues to dominate with map control. Neo.int has cut down on the experience deficit considerably, and that's to their credit. And Good Splitter is going to connect on Ninja Boogie. He's just boned, basically. His team nowhere near to react, and with him down for 30 seconds, they've got a creep wave here. It's a small one, but they've got it. Lena's not really in shape to engage. Puck and the Lena going to try and force this back by a little bit of time. Sand King has his epicenter ready. He has the mana this time as well. Magnus, of course, with RP and his freshly completed Blink Dagger. Here comes the Prophet. He'll be looking to sprout some treants to make this a little bit more potent as they try to crack the Tier 3. And here they come. And this is really dangerous. This has got to be hugely scary. And something that's worth talking about is even if Sand King were to get up a Blink Dagger. Oh, hang on. There's a coil. Caught 3. They may want to try to follow this up. They're going to go ahead and break it. TP reactions coming in. Cooldown will connect as well. There's the silence. However, the cooldown doing so much damage. Disruption keeps Brax away from the Burrow Strike. The epicenter goes off but catches no one. Brax just tanking through the damage. Way too far ahead at this point. His Manta style complete. Still has his Aegis. And it looks like LGD should be taking our first set of the racks here. And God giving us a little bit of a celebration dance. I'm okay with that. Gotta be careful. Doesn't want to spend it accidentally. Oh, came close that son, buddy. But as is, call it what it is, a rout. Right now, 15,000 gold in excess of, at 17 minutes the advantage. The experience beginning to turn back their way as well. They still have an Aegis up. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if they just go ahead, grab a creep wave, and push into the Tier 2. Epicenter is going to be on cooldown. Lena has yet to hit 6. That's a tough life, man, if you're a Lena. You at least need 6 to be full useful. I mean, you need Laguna Blade. It's an awesome ability. It's so fun to use. Nothing more fun than walking up to a BKB-less Gyrocopter or Prophet, just going boom, there's all your health gone, or close to it. But Hardchico, just having a hard knock life. They're going to go ahead and rotate down to bottom lane right now. The RP still on cooldown, or off cooldown, I should say. Brax is already hitting pretty hard. I mean, when you're talking about 18 minutes into the game, hitting for 126 damage, he's got maxed out Rocket Barrage. He's already level 11, so he has level 2 cooldown as well. Leshrac has got a point. And 2 Pulse Nova, as we've seen, so he's doing good damage. And here we go. There's a skewer on Lena. Poor Lena. Down she goes. Sonic Wave will catch a couple, but just not enough damage output to really make it worthwhile. Some bottling up. Now a disruption on the high ground. That's Lee. Will be able to Burrow Strike his way out. Coil caught a couple. Here comes Puck to re-engage. Call down. Makes them think twice, though. Just can't really come into a call down to do damage. What a good split earth from the low ground. Catching Queen of Pain just as she was trying to blink. 15 seconds, give or take, on Epicenter if they want to try to do anything. Puck has done his job for the most part. He's landed good coils. His waning rifts have been good. Now, finally, they're going to get a break. Misery should be cleaned up after that. Aegis goes down, but great reverse polarity. Caught 3. He's going to go ahead and skewer them back together. And Brax is there fresh off the respawn to continue to clean house. Leshrac in a little bit of trouble. He's forced to pull back. Sonic Wave. Ninja Boogie's gone. Queen of Pain back up, ready to fight, but not for long. Flat Cannon, just too much damage to cope with right now. The GG comes out. And we knew it coming in. Neo.int's draft, very good at one thing, but that one thing taken out of its elephant by elephant, taken out of its elephant. I actually just said that. I actually just said it was taken out of its elephant. The one good thing can be taken out of its element, and it was by LGD with a superbly executed tri-lane. And game number 1, gonna go the way of LGD in this battle of international squads. Brax, I mean, 20,000 gold. Yeah, they actually hit that. 20,000, well over, well, not well over, over 20,000 or 1,000 gold per minute advantage they earned themselves. And they put a very impressive Game 1 win on the board here early. You're watching the G1 League Asia Qualifiers Phase 2 Group C here on One More Game TV2. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We got Game 2 of this best of 3 heading your way next. And don't forget, we got our second series of the day coming up at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make that 12:30 Central European Time, 7:30 Singapore time as well. As is, though, get to see LGD back in action. The other international squad, Neo.int, going to try to turn that donut into a breadstick and force a Game 3. We'll find out if they're up to the task coming up next.